The All Blacks have been hit by a late team change just hours before one of the most anticipated tests of the rugby's greatest rivalry, with Anton Segner ruled out of New Zealand's clash with the Springboks at Ellis Park. The late withdrawal means Simon Parker has been called into the matchday squad, adding an unexpected twist to an already highly anticipated opening test. For Dave Rennie and his coaching staff, the change comes at a difficult stage, because preparations for a major test are normally built around a settled squad and clearly defined roles, but the All Blacks must now adjust their bench before facing a powerful South African side on home soil. Segner, who is 25 years old, had only recently begun establishing himself at test level for New Zealand. Born in Germany, the flanker made his international debut during the Nations Championship against Italy, coming off the bench in New Zealand's victory, before earning his second cap against Ireland the following week. His progress has therefore been closely watched, and his absence represents a setback at a time when every available option can be important in a physically demanding test. According to the All Blacks, Segner has been dealing with a swollen ankle, which has been assessed as acute inflammatory arthritis. His return to play has not yet been determined, meaning the priority now is his recovery rather than rushing him back into action. While the news is disappointing for the player, the All Blacks have moved quickly to make sure the squad remains balanced, bringing Simon Parker into the replacement group. Parker is no stranger to the current tour. He featured in New Zealand's tour matches against the Stormers and the Bulls, giving him recent experience of the South African environment and the demands of playing rugby in the country. He is now in line to earn his 9th test appearance for New Zealand, and that experience could prove valuable if he is required to enter the match at a crucial moment. The important point for New Zealand supporters is that the late change is limited to the replacement bench. The starting 15 remains unchanged, meaning Damian McKenzie continues at fullback, with Will Jordan and Josh Moorby named on the wings. In the midfield, Jordie Barrett partners Quinn Tapia, while Ruben Love starts at fly half and Cam Roigard takes the scrum half position. It is a backline that will be expected to combine attacking ambition with accuracy, particularly against a South African defense known for applying pressure in the middle of the field. At the back of the scrum, Ardie Savea continues as captain and starts at number 8. His leadership will be especially important in a test where momentum can change quickly and where New Zealand will need calm decision-making under pressure. Alongside him in the back row are Luke Jacobson and Tupou Vaa'i, giving the All Blacks a combination of work rate, physicality, and experience. In the second row, Fabian Holland and Josh Lord remain the starting locks, while Tyrell Lomax, Codie Taylor, and Ethan de Groot complete the front row. The bench now features Asafo Omua, George Bower, Fletcher Newell, Simon Parker, and Peter Lakai among the forwards, with Kyle Preston, Anton Lienert-Brown, and Leroy Carter providing backline cover. That group gives Rennie several options as the match develops, and the importance of the replacements could become even greater if the contest turns into the type of intense battle many expect at Ellis Park. For New Zealand, the biggest question is not simply who starts, but how effectively the team can manage the different phases of the match. Against the Springboks, opportunities can be limited, so discipline, possession, and decision-making will all matter. The All Blacks will need to make the most of their attacking chances while also dealing with South Africa's physical challenge at set piece and around the breakdown. The late change involving Segner does not alter that overall strategy, but it does remove one option from the bench and places additional responsibility on Parker. His familiarity with the tour environment could be an advantage. Having already played against the Stormers and Bulls, he has experienced the conditions and intensity that come with rugby in South Africa, although the Ellis Park test will represent a different level of challenge. This is also a significant moment for Dave Rennie, who is preparing his team for a fixture that carries enormous attention on both sides of the rivalry. The All Blacks know they will need a composed performance from the opening whistle, especially in a stadium where the atmosphere can become a major part of the occasion. At the same time, the Springboks will be looking to use their home advantage and impose their style on the match. That makes the first exchanges particularly important. If New Zealand can establish control early, move the ball accurately, and avoid giving away unnecessary opportunities, they can build pressure of their own. If South Africa gain the upper hand in territory and possession, however, the All Blacks could be forced into a more defensive role. This is why the bench could become one of the most interesting parts of the contest. Rugby tests of this magnitude are rarely decided only by the starting 15. The final stages can be influenced by replacements, tactical adjustments, and the ability of players to maintain intensity when fatigue begins to appear. Parker now has the opportunity to play a part in that story after being called into the squad at short notice. For Anton Segner, the immediate focus will be on recovering from the ankle issue and determining when he can safely return to play. There is no confirmed timeline yet, so supporters will have to wait for further updates before knowing when he might be available again. For the All Blacks, though, the focus has already shifted completely to the test itself. The team remains largely settled, the starting lineup is unchanged, and the late adjustment has been made. Now comes the challenge of delivering on the field. Ardie Savea will lead the side, Damian McKenzie will operate from fullback, Jordie Barrett and Quinn Tapia will form the center partnership, and Cam Roigard and Ruben Love will look to direct the attack. Around them, the All Blacks will need a collective performance built on accuracy, discipline, and patience. Against a side as experienced as the Springboks, there is little room for unnecessary mistakes. Every kick, carry, tackle, and set piece can influence the momentum of the match. That is what makes this late change so interesting without changing the bigger picture. New Zealand have lost one replacement option, but they have responded by bringing in a player who already understands the demands of the current tour. The starting 15 remains intact, and the All Blacks now have a clear opportunity to begin the series with a strong performance. For Simon Parker, meanwhile, this is an unexpected chance to step onto one of the biggest stages in international rugby. Whether he enters the match or remains on the bench, his inclusion is another reminder of how quickly circumstances can change before a major test. The attention now turns to Ellis Park, where the All Blacks and Springboks will finally meet. The late withdrawal of Anton Segner has added another layer to the build-up, but the main question remains the same. Can Dave Rennie's team handle the pressure, execute its game plan, and produce the performance required against South Africa? With the starting lineup unchanged and Simon Parker ready to step in if needed, New Zealand will enter the contest knowing exactly what is at stake. The stage is set, the final adjustment has been made, and now the rivalry moves from the team sheet to the field. For rugby fans, the wait is almost over.